Katya with Hindustan Astrology here, and in this video we are going to discuss the month of August 2024 Vedic Sidereal Astrology. Now, this month we have some turbulent things going on. We have Mercury going retrograde, yes, and Mercury will be going from Leo back into Cancer, and so this is crossing over the infamous Gandanta zone. So certainly information from the past will be coming back to us. We have a planetary war or Graha Yuddha between Mars and Jupiter. And we also have Venus going into her sign of debilitation, which is Virgo. So let's take a look at this month and see what else is going on. Okay, so right off the bat, August 4th at 7:11 a.m. EST, we have the new moon at 18 degrees 21 minutes of Cancer, Ashlesha Nakshatra. This is called the clinging star, and it is opposite Pluto retrograde. So let's discuss this. Ashlesha, the clinging star, the deity are the Nagas, or the deified serpents. And so this part of the zodiac, we get a lot of intuition, a lot of psychic insight. And it's kind of like getting those tingly spidey senses, as we call them, right? When we know something's off, or we sense something's coming, just like how a snake can hear you coming from miles away. These people that have this strong in their chart are very intuitive. But it is the fixed star Acubens. And Acubens is about scandal. It's about a bad reputation, being infamous. And the thing about Acubens is that there's a lot of deceit wrapped up in it. And hidden things, secrets. Ashlesha is ruled by Mercury, so we do get a lot of interest in the mysteries of life, interested in the occult sciences, and alchemy, and people that have this oftentimes are healers. So certainly in mundane astrology, we will be hearing about things coming, out of the closet that we didn't know about, and also what is, basically is happening the next day is Mercury's going retrograde. So for sure, information is going to be coming out of the closet. I think probably concerning things on the world stage, right? This crazy election we have coming up. And on a personal level, I would say, all of those things are also true. However, because this is a new moon and it is about healing and alchemy, it's just like, the venom from a snake. Is it going to kill you, or is it going to be medicine? So, this is a time for us on a personal level to take a look at what we're eating, take a look at, any toxins, poisons in our life that we're not aware of, and then, in our environment too, the people that we're interacting with. Venus is conjunct Mercury for this new moon, and as Mercury is slowing down and going retrograde the next day, Venus will definitely be affected, meaning relationships from the past could come back. You could hear from somebody, that kind of a thing, right? Now, for the United States, at the time of the new moon, the ascendant is Cancer as well, making this doubly powerful, right? Not only is Moon in his own sign of Cancer, but it is also the Lagna Lord. So I feel that for Washington, D.C., because this is the 8th house, right? The United States is a Sagittarius ascendant, so this new moon is happening in the U.S. birth chart's 8th house. The 8th house is the house of deep transformation, alchemy, secrets, scandals, all of those things apply. So I think things are going to be getting very interesting around this new moon. And then, we also have the approaching Mars-Jupiter Graha Yuddha, or planetary war, that is building up during this new moon as well. And it's, like I said, it's opposite Pluto retrograde. So even more emphasis upon secrets, secret societies, scandals, transformation. It's going to be interesting. But again, how do we use that energy ourselves? Well, we use it by focusing on spiritual matters, focusing on even learning, if there's a course you've been wanting to take or something that is about healing, this is a great time. Educating yourself upon these, subjects also is a great way to utilize this energy. Saturn is, he's giving his third aspect to Aries. So, and he's giving his 10th aspect to Scorpio. So certainly, if you have your moon or your ascendant in either of these Mars-ruled signs, you're feeling a lot of pressure from Saturn right now. And so, just know that, it's not just you. But, having Pluto retrograde opposite, I really feel is going to emphasize the intensity. So just focus on, yourself and your family, and lay low. Okay. Now, as I said, the next day, August 5th at 12:56 a.m. EST, we have Mercury going retrograde at 9 degrees 54 minutes of Leo, Maga Nakshatra, which is the star of power, opposite Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is the scorching star. So, as I said, Mercury's going to hit that Gandanta zone in just a few days, because it starts at 3 degrees 20 minutes of Leo, and then it goes back to 26 degrees 40 minutes of Cancer. So I really think we're going to hear even more things coming out of the closet for these politicians, and secrets being revealed, and all sorts of interesting things. On a personal level, as I said, Venus is conjunct Mercury for this Mercury retrograde, at least while he's in Leo, right? And then he's going to come back again. She is going to go into the next sign of Virgo, but she is really, it's the planet that's influencing at the time when the planet goes retrograde that really makes an impact. So certainly old flames coming back, information from the past regarding relationships. If you're an artist, certainly you'll be impacted. Information concerning your art will be revealed at that time as well. Then on August 7th, we have the planetary war, or Graha Yuddha, between Venus and Mercury retrograde. Oh, we have two this month. So we have one that is Mars and Jupiter coming up, but we also have a Venus and Mercury planetary war. And we know that Venus will win this because Mercury is going back, right? So in planetary war, it's opposite of what you think. It's not the planet that moves on that's the winner. That's the loser, because they're fighting over a degree. So it's the planet that stays on the degree the longest that is the winner. Saturn always wins, Mars always loses. Here we have Venus and Mercury. And as I said, Mercury is passing by a lot faster. So Venus is going to be the winner of this planetary war. And so it could be, some kind of a conflict concerning an artistic project, a conflict in relationship with communication. So I would just say, focus on Venus, focus on communicating in a way that you're relating to somebody else. And also be careful of information that comes in, information that comes in concerning any kind of project that you're on. Really take a double take and make sure that you are not missing anything, okay? And then we really don't have anything going on for a whole week until August 14th. But if you go over to my Instagram, which is Hindustan Astrology, every day I have been scheduling different posts for what's the moon nakshatra of the day, what's going on, what planets are aspecting it, that kind of thing, just to give you a daily guide. So head on over to Instagram to see that. And then also on TikTok, I've been making several videos that I do not put on YouTube, that are shorter and have, just more direct information. So head on over to TikTok. You can find me there as well. So August 14th, we have Moon in Scorpio, which is debilitated, in Jyeshtha Nakshatra, which is the eldest star. And the planetary war is between Jupiter and Mars at 22 degrees, 28 minutes of Taurus, Rohini Nakshatra. So Rohini is the fixed star Aldebaran, which is the red eye of the bull in the Taurus constellation. It's a very bright star, and it is opposite Antares, which is the star that rules Jyeshtha. So, I've just noticed that there's oftentimes conflict with the police when there are significant planets and events happening in Jyeshtha, because it's the eldest star. It's ruled by Indra, the chief of the gods. And so the military or the police force always get affected by this fixed star. And it actually is both of these stars, Antares, Aldebaran, are indicators in antiquity of war. So, so Mars is the soldier, and wherever Jupiter sits, he expands things. So I think this is an indication of a real war. And I really feel, December 6th, when Mars goes retrograde, which he'll do in Cancer, where he's debilitated, and then he goes back into Gemini. From December to April, I think we're going to war, because this is on top of the United States Mars in the 7th house of the opponent. So prepare, start, getting your food, stocked up. Make sure you've got enough water, necessities, medicines, that kind of thing, because who knows what's going to happen. But we're going to really start to feel that build up with this planetary war that's on August 14th. And then the next thing that we have happening is August 17th through September 7th. Mercury retrograde is Gandanta in Leo and Cancer. So for sure, and he's already passed through this zone, right? So we're going to, go over things that happened last month in July. So let's talk about what is Gandanta for new people. If you've been here a while, you know what it is. But so Gand means knot, Anta means end. So it is a very well-placed knot at the end of a rope that we must unravel before we go on to the next cycle. Okay, and so it is a karmic knot that must be solved before we can begin something. And the way we feel is that we are emotionally out of control. and we often feel like we're drowning. And people oftentimes have drownings when significant planets are Gandanta. So if you're at the beach during this time, August 17th through September 7th, please be careful. Watch your children around the pool, make sure everything is safe for the babies and the toddlers, that kind of thing. And Leo, when Mercury's in Leo, we are able to express ourselves in a leadership way. And it does favor those in power. But when Mercury goes back to Cancer, he gets a little foggy, a little unclear in thinking. However, Mercury in Cancer is an excellent placement for psychic intuition. So be very mindful of, what's, I always tell people that are, trying to increase their psychic abilities to observe. The best thing you can do is observe what you are seeing, what you are hearing, what you are feeling, okay? And don't discount it. A lot of times we get psychic hits and then we don't say it, and then it happens, And so when things happen, say it. And just pay attention to, information, letters, emails, things that you forgot about that you need to reply to. And again, be careful around the water. And our emotions too will feel like we're emotionally drowning, So just being aware that's happening will help lessen the blow. Then August 19th at 2:26 p.m. EST, we have our full moon at 3 degrees, 3 minutes of Aquarius, Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is the star of symphony. And it is conjunct Saturn retrograde and opposite Mercury retrograde and Venus. And so, this is an intense, especially emotionally, feeling like you're drowning is definitely going to be high during this time of the full moon. Just having moon with Saturn retrograde is enough to kind of weigh you down and make you feel depressed. But having all these planets in Leo is just going to emphasize the intensity. And I will say right now, I'm predicting that we will have some significant solar flares, you guys, because I've been tracking the solar flares for a while. I follow Ben Davidson over on Suspicious Observers on his YouTube channel, and I have his app. And I've noticed that when we have several planets in Leo, we oftentimes will have solar flares. Honestly, whenever we have a lot of planets with the sun, but particularly in the sun's sign of Leo. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a radio blackout, it affects the satellites. And, we had that happen when we had those, the auroras in the spring. So get your cameras out because we could have more of the same around this time, okay? Now, for Washington, D.C., the ascendant at the time of the full moon is Scorpio, which is where Saturn's putting his 10th aspect. And for the United States chart, we are Sagittarius ascendant, so that would be Saturn's putting his 10th aspect upon our 12th house, which is foreign lands. Yes. International affairs, and having all of these planets in Leo, it's in the 10th house of the United States chart. So definitely our government is going to be feeling the pressure during this full moon. I think that this could really whip things into a frenzy, so to speak. And, those that are in power are going to be, having a lot of pressure put upon them by the public, right? Moon's the public. So it's just going to be one of those things where when we look back, it's going to be very clear as to see how the conflict started. And, this is in the Star of Symphony. And, Star of Symphony is actually the fixed star Sidereal Astrology. And this is actually a star of good luck. But on a nakshatra level, Dhanishta can portend depression, because the symbol for Dhanishta is a flute or a drum, which are hollow. And it is that hollowness that, creates the sound, right? But that hollowness is like something that Dhanishta people are always trying to fill up. It's like a void inside of themselves. And playing music is great, travel is great. But just like, again, being aware that this is happening is really going to help us to lessen the blow. This is a great time to go to a concert, or if you can't go to a concert, watch one online. There's several websites that have live music streaming, from the actual venue. So, it's a great way to step away from the intensity of the day, okay? Because goodness, Mercury retrograde, Sun, Venus, are all going to be at the mid-heaven point of the chart. And that's also where the Rigu Bindu point is for the day, or for that moment. And so this is actually portending that there is a hidden luck. Once we go through this intensity, things may turn around, which is a blessing, because things are really getting intense over in the Middle East, as we know. Okay, so that is August 19th, and then we go to August 24th at 3:47 p.m. EST. We have Venus entering Virgo, debilitated. So let's talk about this. So Venus is stepping away from Mercury, and Mercury is going back into Cancer. So Venus is exalted in Pisces because she's happy for no reason there. She's debilitated in Virgo because she's unhappy for every reason. So, be careful of nitpicking in your relationships, being over analytical. And, it's funny, people that actually have Venus in Virgo oftentimes will be kind of sloppy, kind of slobs. I hate to say it, but that's because, a debilitation actually emphasizes that planet, and Venus is creativity, right? So I find people that have Venus in Virgo are incredibly creative, but they leave destruction in their wake. Kind of like a tornado goes off, or hits the house, and everything's everywhere. So a way to combat that and to bring Venus back into alignment is to organize. Yes, declutter, go through your closet, get some things out that need to go to Goodwill, or you want to sell online or something. That's a great way to deal with this. Clean your car, do all of the self-care things, buy new clothes. This is a great way to deal with this Venus debilitation, okay? And Venus will be with K2, again, emphasizing past loves coming back, old flames, that kind of thing, especially with Mercury retrograde, okay? Then August 26th at 5:56 a.m. EST, we have Mars entering Gemini. And this is Mars giving his fourth aspect to Venus and K2, what we were just talking about, and his eighth aspect to Pluto retrograde. So with Mars giving his fourth aspect, Mars and Venus produces a lot of passion, right? A lot of possibility for romance. K2 there, people from the past, right? But K2 is likened to Mars's energy. And Venus, because she has to do with our values, and Mars, which has to do with boundaries and territories, can often portend war. So another indication of war at this time. So just again, for, foreknowledge is, empowering, so just knowing this is coming. Try not to, fly off the handle with people at work or in, your friends or family or whatever. Just know that there is this intensity in the air, and if we're not careful, it can ignite and expand, okay? Then August 28th at 5:14 p.m. EST, we have Mercury going direct at 27 degrees, 12 minutes of Cancer, Ashlesha Nakshatra. So Ashlesha really is the theme for this month, isn't it? Again, accubins, scandals, deceit, ill repute. All of these things are a possibility, but with the healing power of the snake to bring great transformation. Okay, so really focus on listening to your intuition. Don't discount it. Listen to your dreams. Try some new medications, some new herbs that that you need for something. Really get in touch with growth, spiritual growth and healing. And I think that if you don't fight it but go with the flow, then this month will be a lot easier. But on the international stage, things are definitely heating up, you guys. So I just want you to really focus on being stable, being secure, making sure you have everything you need in case, let's say, a solar flare hits and the grid's down. What are we going to do? Do you have enough water? That kind of thing. Just think ahead, and we'll be all right. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, you can always go over to HindustanAstrology.com. I do have a message box that you can always send me a message. If you want a consultation, just head over to the consultations tab. I have reduced my prices for some of the offerings because, people are really struggling right now. And I want people to be able to get their readings. And I've also included a 15-minute Vedic astrology and a 15-minute tarot reading. Yes, I do tarot. Actually, you know what? I think we should pull a card. I think that would be a great way to end this session. But if you are interested in those things, head over to HindustanAstrology.com, and I would love to give you guys a reading sometime. And I also do student tutoring. So let me get my cards out. Okay, so I've got my Heindel Tarot, which is my favorite. They just seem to get right to the heart of the matter. So let's see what the Tarot has to say about this month. All right. Okay. So the first card that I've pulled is, it's the Three of Swords, and it's reversed. They call this the Mourning card, Mourning. So it's about grief, sorrow, really, grieving someone, but reversed is showing that we're coming out of that period. So in a sense, it's, passing, okay? And what I just heard is the worst is behind us. But if we are going to war, then, we definitely have to prepare. However, showing that it's reversed means that, this is a time of letting go of the sadness, okay? It's time to let it go because it's become a burden. Yeah. And then the middle card we have is Eight of Wands, swiftness. Now, when I was doing a reading about Kamala Harris, asking who would win, she or Trump, that's the card that came up for her. So the swiftness card is what it is, right? It is about definite progress, definite momentum being gained. And I think this month is going to be her month as well. And for everybody on an individual level, this can mean the development of a new love affair. Yes. So if you are wanting to get into a new relationship, that's a good indication. Okay. And then the final card I've pulled is the Ten of Stones. And this is called richness. So that's a good indication for the economy, actually. Maybe that Mars-Jupiter conjunction, planetary war will spark the economy, perhaps. It is in the 6th house of the United States birth chart. So that's showing definite work, progress, and also, consequently, when I was asking in a tarot reading, I think 2 weeks ago, who would the Democrats choose as their candidate for the U.S. presidency? The card for Kamala Harris was richness. And as you know, she has been, really getting a lot of donations. So I think that's indicating that the focus this month is going to be on politics. It is going to be on the future for the United States. So, on an individual level, richness is about just what it sounds like, right? Saving your money, making money, but saving it. So if you're making money, don't spend it. Just be very, careful and aware of, do I really need this? Like, socking it away, definitely. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in reading, just head over to HindustanAstrology.com and also sign up for my free newsletter, because I've been trying to add in a little bit more extra information when I do it every month. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, namaste. And I'll see you later. Bye.